movie. I recommend. That's True Romance. It's just like the cast of that's outrageous. Gary Oldman is unrecognizable. Gary Oldman plays a Rastafarian drug dealer pimp with one of his eyes gone, and he speaks in that Rastafarian man. And it's
I've seen a part of this
Gary
movie
Oldman
on TV before, and that's
everybody's
one of the
seen
scenes I remember.
Everybody's seen the interrogation scene with Christopher Walken and what's his name, but it's a good fucking movie.
Give me a Walken. Give me your best Walken.
The Foo Fighters. That's my favorite. He was on SNL and he asked the Foo Fighters. He's like, "Do I put the accent on the Foo or Fighters?" And they're like, "On Fighters." And so when he comes like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Foo Fighters."
Can you imagine how often he's just trying to go about his business and someone's like, "Hey, did you hide something in your ass today?" Like,
do you know why he speaks that way?
He had a stroke
long ago.
I don't remember exactly what he sounds like.
His parents were immigrants who did not speak English.
From where? A country where it's just them? Like, no one else sounds like that.
They had this. He learned English from someone who barely spoke English, and they had that pause and like deliver sort of effect to their wherever they were from. I don't know where. I don't remember. One of the stupid countries, I'm sure. And so that's why he speaks that way.
Okay. Well,
and it's awesome.
We can all use a little work on our walk-ins.
Yeah.
I think you don't break out impressions that much, but I liked your Jamaican. I think you did a good job.
The Rastafari and Gary Oldman.
Rastafari Kyle should make more appearances.
I do have some dreads in the other room I could throw on.
Yes.
Got the hat. Do the whole. I got some shoe polish. Shoe polish. You're going way too dark.
Shoe polish. No, it's spray tan when they're trying to.
I was just watching that. I watched that
like a few days ago. Yeah, I hadn't dipped my toe back in Sunny in so long because I did that stupid thing over the years where I drilled them all into my head so much that now like I can go years without watching a 1 second of Sunny, and then I put season 4 back on and it's like a brain blast of like all of it's remembered right away. Like, oh yeah, I remember every line of every episode. What a good show.
I was watching a montage today of all of the Uncle Jack moments, and Uncle Jack.
Yeah.
It was in an early season, like maybe first 4. And Charlie is like showing on a doll where he was touched or something like that. And Uncle Jack is getting off watching. He's like, slow. Show him. Slow.
When they find that kid and they're talking to him about it, and he's like, "Where's the child? Have you touched the child yet?" And then they're like,
she's like, I messed up big time. I kidnapped Bill Ponderosa's kids. I got him out in the car. And he's like, have you got them confined in a crawl space or a closet? Have you touched them yet?
Yeah.
No, what? No, Jesus, fuck. Yeah, his like unabashed pedophilia is one of the best parts of the show. Him just clearly being a pedophile.
What did I come back to?
Talking about Uncle Jack and Always Sunny, how he's just the most clear of clear pedophiles, but the only thing he's insecure about is he's like, my hands. Don't show my hands. I'm going to put them under the table. Now take the phone. Can you lay your hands over mine? So
we're lawyers.
We're lawyers. Yeah, it's like what a ridiculous thing to be self-conscious about when you're an actual pedophile.
And he actually really does have tiny hands. I noticed in that scene that they genuinely look like child hands. I was like, is that CGI?
See, I watched it and I couldn't tell if he actually had small hands or if I had it implanted in my head from the episode because I never noticed on my own.
Yeah. It's the episode where she's kidnapped Bill Ponderosa's kids and they're sitting in the bar and he like you said, he puts them under the table for the picture. Like they really are tiny.
Huh. Do they play it up and give him like big cuffs and such?
He wears giant fake hands over his hands in one scene when he's in court, and he's got these big fake, and everyone knows they're fake. and he goes to gesture and point at like the defendant or way it was him, and like the hand flies off, and he starts screaming, "Oh God! Oh God! Don't look!" And he's trying to like put his hand back on. He's trying to have the hand remarks stricken from the record. He's talking to the stenographer. It's fucking great. That like I told you a few times, but the newer seasons or the last season was good. It was a throwback to previous years. It was cool to see, because a lot of the shows that we've been watching for 15 or 20 seasons now have kind of lost most of their zest.
Yeah,
they're not quite the show they used to be. But so it was
South
nice
Park,
to see them have a bit of a resurgence. Yeah,
Family
South Park,
Guy, Simpsons.
Family. I've watched new Family Guy and thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. The Simpsons, obviously, you can look at the IMDb graph. You can see like where the decline is, and it's obvious. It's they lose writers and they run out of ideas, and then time. I don't want to see modern Simpsons though. That's so off-putting to me to have them make commentary on current things or be doing modern things. It's really off-putting, because I want the Simpsons to be nostalgic and sort of forever. Like I almost want them to forever exist in the 90s. Like they should still be in the 90s as far as I'm concerned with what's going on. Bush should be president. You know what I mean? Like, or Clinton. That would be fine with me if that was the avenue they took. I know you're a little miffed that King of the Hill is coming back. And Bobby is going to be 21 or 22 years old, something like that. And he's a chef. And I'm sure you'll have old Hank. And I hope that a big focus of the show is old Hank dealing with 2024. I
appreciate how much Taylor doesn't like it, but I like it. I didn't want them to come back and try to do more King of the Hill as if nothing had changed. Grow up the character. Show me where we are now. I don't want more of the same. We've done.
Dale died.
Yeah, they can't really. The actor who did Dale's voice died, and so like after I heard that last year, I was like, oh, so any hope of it being good just went out the window. Dale's such an important character.
I hope they get AI. That's what I would do.
I'd like that 70s show to come back and have the kids be adults now.
They did that.
I think they called it
really?
that 80s, right?
They straight up did that?
They did that, and they brought everybody back except for the Danny McBride, who's a rapist and in prison.
No, not Danny McBride. Danny Masterson. Danny McBride is the guy from...
Sorry, Danny McBride. I love you.
Down. Shout out to Danny McBride, friend of the show.
He watches. Yep.
You don't know who Danny McBride is?
Yeah, whatever. I like it when you see President Lisa Simpson every so often, like a little glimpse into the future.
I don't. I like it on one-off episodes when it's part of the plot, but like the bread and butter of the show is like Peggy and Hank and Bobby and their surrounding little cast and the slice of life problems they encounter as a couple of parents with a single child. They kind of want more kids.
You gotta change it though. If you were still making videos about how parents don't truly understand what kids are going through, that would suck.
But
I'm okay with the change too, because
you gotta
want more of the same. I do want something different if they're going to come back, because Brittany
then
Murphy's
make a different
gone.
show, like a totally different show.
Well, they probably call it like Spring of the Hill or whatever or something. But Brittany Murphy's dead. Dale's dead. Chuck Mangione, I think he's dead.
Brittany Murphy, Peggy, or the hot one?
She was the hot one.
She was, yeah. She was not. I mean, all of those episodes that centered around Luann were terrible, and so it didn't hurt the show to not have Luann.
I didn't like Luann as a character. Yeah. I liked Bobby and his like silliness. And I liked Hank and Dale and I like the boys, I guess. I liked, if it was an episode with just the four men off in the woods, that was a good episode to me.
Yeah.
Dale's probably my favorite character out of all of them. Bill has the coolest episodes. The Bulldozer episode, I stand by.
Bulldozer.
That's the best episode for me. When basically Bill was this incredible high school standout. Now he's a complete loser. So that's just one feather in his cap. I was the Bulldozer. I was the running back who could not be stopped by an entire team. And this new high school kid's about to break his record, and he welcomes it. He loves that he's being interviewed on the local radio to talk about when he was the Bulldozer and how he's proud that little Bobby or Billy or whatever his name is going to break the record now. Well, the kid who was going to break the record breaks his leg instead. And so now he's out, and they're like, oh, he fell short. Well, there's one more game in the season. They have the kid with the broken leg go out on the field late in the game, and the defense lets him walk in and score. He's on crutches. He drops the football, and a defense member picks the ball up and hands it to him. Here you go. And he walks in and breaks Bill's record. And Bill's like, I'm a high school dropout. I'm still eligible. think the bulldozer needs to come back and break that record. And so he starts training and going, and it's great. That's my favorite episode. I love that shit.
That's a great episode.
It could get cringy for me with Bobby and his girlfriend and stuff like that. Khan was always good, but I welcome a new thing on King of the Hill. I'm glad they've changed it. It feels right for Bobby to still basically be a kid at 21, and that I like that they stuck with the series finale with him sort of discovering cooking as the way he and Hank could bond. I hope that Hank is like going to his restaurant and like that's still the only thing they can kind of come together on is cuisine or Bobby's cooking. And I hope that Bobby is like a wild left wing liberal and Hank is, conservative, and they're having talks about that. I'm looking forward to it. I hope they AI Dale too. I need Dale with his conspiracies. In 2024, Dale is great. With all the conspiracies, wild stuff, contrails, and whatever.
It won't be as. I don't have high hopes.
What?
I may
Will Dale be in the show?
I mean, he's dead, so I don't think so. And
you could do him.
No, they could find someone who could do him.
AI, no, you AI and you pay his widow. That's what I do 100%.
That's soulless.
I'm cautious about that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't show me.
Yeah, I feel like it's so good. Like just getting one of those. But like that's what AI is good at. Like maybe you can't go and write me a symphony orchestra, but copying somebody's voice and maybe not on the spot. All right, so you're basing it on the ones where you just like click a button and like make it happen. But they've got a studio. They've got plenty of time to be like, that didn't come off right. Let's change the way they roll that R. Let's change the way he leads from this word to that word, Hank. Like they could go in there and they could tinker with it and make one.
Hank, I'm burning in hell, and they're using a computer to get my voice.
My soul's trapped in that machine, Hank.
Joseph, I'm scared.
See, yeah, I think it's better to get a person. I feel like this conversation kind of made that true. What computers are good at are emulating almost anything but a human. We're just too sensitive to voices and faces and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I agree 100%. It wouldn't turn out well. Either way, it's not going to be a good show.
I don't know. I can't tell sometimes if I'm watching a YouTube channel that's run by a man or a machine.
Dude, yes. Sometimes I feel like I do tell before it's over, but the fact that I get 4 or 5 minutes in sometimes on the long end, and then I'm like, this is AI. That it's accenting the wrong things and it's not following its own train of thought like you'd expect. And
that's the British applicable, you piece of shit. Yeah, I don't notice sometimes, and what I want to see an example of, I keep hearing that there are like AI OnlyFans girls who are like just killing it. I need to see one of these fake women.
You need to be one of them.
I bet we can find an example of an AI OnlyFans just like on Twitter.
You just get that service that replies to your messages and then just do they look real? You see some real ladies there?
But yeah, this is not AI. We've been hoodwinked.
You guys have been active on Tinder in your life. Do you ever get AI chat bots trying to scam you on Tinder? Because I thought that was a thing.
I've definitely gotten messages that were like clearly from just a random, like they just some body out there just grabbed a photo from like an actress's website, threw it up, and then it's just like disjointed sentence with too many spaces in between words, where it'd be like, hey, space, what's new? With like an exclamation point or something.
So
like
it was a person with a bad translate app or an AI?
You can't really tell what it is.
Yeah, you can't tell 100%. But like if you look at the pictures and it's clear that it's like these are just headshots from like a woman who was, probably, an extra in the 80s.
You reverse image search the photos, and then you ask questions. And usually I can tell right away that something's up. So I just I'm not interested in finding out what scam you're running. Like as soon as I have a scent of a scam, I'm gone. Like I'm doing okay. Having a hard time with my rent this month, Get the fuck out of here, you whore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you get kicked out.
And then other times it's like, you're so fat, you're real.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, no, you're real.
Yeah. I know that all of you is real. Yeah. It's like, man, if like the balls to get on a website for dating and like have a bio that's like, I'm really picky, teehee, and it's like, no, you're not. You eat everything in sight. You're like not
Oh my
even.
God.
You're not even.
But here's my
normal
question:
obese.
in middle school, the ugliest girl in school liked my friend. He was actually a good-looking guy, but he was insulted by it, and I was like, I get why. Like, it's not like her vision is bad, right? Just because she's ugly doesn't mean you are. He's
Lisa
like,
Berger.
no, if the ugliest girl in school thinks she has a shot with you, she thinks you're the ugliest guy in school. That was his take. So, do you apply that at all? Like, if some fucking hamburglar goes in there and tries to,
I was going to ask,
swipe right on you.
I was almost going to ask him the exact same question. I was going to ask him, has he ever been hit on by a woman so ugly that it hurt his feelings?
Yeah.
No, I take it all as a compliment.
Me too.
Like,
yeah. I it's been a long time, but I was once hit on by a guy, and I'm like,
He didn't
it.
bite.
Dude, if I was getting hit on by like fit gay guys, I'd be like, yeah, I got it.
yeah.
But I'm not getting hit on by fit gay guys.
Go to the public gym.
Should I? Ew, public gym, wait in line at machines. No,
I never waited in a line, but I was there at 2
watch
in the
some
morning.
other guy finish his last 2 sets of squats.
I'd sooner
No.
buy my own milk than go to a public gym.
Yeah. You can't work out in a home gym for 6-7 years and then go back to the peon nonsense.
Yeah.
I bet if you went to a nice one though, like I've got all the machines I want, I think, but still, like, there's some stuff at the big gym that I don't have. There's cool shit there. There's gigantic machines, and I don't know. I never minded.
I'm like, hey, I'm about to jump rope. We all agree on 63 degrees in here.
Oh,
Try
that's
that at the public gym.
Okay, that's the problem. Yeah, I would go in there and it would be like 70 and 7, which is pretty good. But come on, I want it to be freezing in here. It's 62 degrees in my house right now. Like I like it cold.
Why would you do that?
You'd like
Because electricity is almost free in Atlanta. Apparently, I every month I get the power bill and I'm like, what? Can we do like 3 or 4 of these at a time or something? Like it's so little. It'll be dozens of dollars.
You've gotten like free water. You've Mr. Magoo'd your way into like free utilities in different ways, and in your head you're like, it's just free. It comes out of the wall. Like, it's just, meanwhile your neighbor's like losing hair. Like, oh my god,
$800. Turn that computer off, Johnny.
Sarah, turn that. Do I hear a microwave ding? I better not hear it.
Put that water in the sunlight outside. Let it get warm.
Household now.
Yeah,
meanwhile, you're over there, like not even using your in-home sauna. It's just on.
I want to be ready.
just some red hot rocks.
Oh, that's the bathroom where I always leave hot water coming out. Just in
I
case.
don't have to wait.
Hot water is always ready. Yeah, it's really cheap. I don't know if it's because we've got nuclear right by here. I don't know where Atlanta gets its electricity specifically, like what power source. We've got hydroelectric and nuclear in the state. So probably a
Nuclear is
mixture.
like the most expensive.
We looked this up and it was difficult to argue with you, but I would imagine over time, without subsidies,
Well, we looked at this
nuclear
up,
just
but
makes
it
so
was
much more sense.
it was multifaceted because
isn't it also about the volume
site
of energy that can be created and the reliability? You know, you've got the nuclear, you've got energy on tap 24 hours a day, regardless of wind, sun, weather, time of day, and all that stuff.
So the thing that we looked at when we discussed it, like probably a year ago now, the site that we were at was like a literal anti-nuclear site. And their entire presupposition was that, well, if you assume that solar is always in use and has 100% efficiency, and then you assume nuclear is, in use and has efficiency, then actually solar is cheaper. And it's like, okay, well, what are their actual efficiency numbers? And that's the problem with wind and solar, is that they're not that efficient. They can't always gather power. Whereas if you have a nuclear plant, that's creating power always. It's always creating power. Barring some fucking horrible thing, like it's making power all the time.
It seems like the way to go.
It's the future. That's what I can't
think
believe
we
don't
agree that there's probably a combo that is the way to go. Like solar, for example, produces the most power at times when air conditioners run. It might be a nice way to add a little extra capacity on top of nuclear.
Sure. Especially if you're. I feel like we need those batteries that Elon Musk has too charged up full of
Wow,
energy.
I thought you were an oil man.
I,
What is an oil man?
the oil should be powering our fucking vehicles and our aeroplanes and making all of our wonderful like plasticky magical devices that we create. But I hope we're not burning oil to fuel cities. You know what I mean? Like we're not turning electrical turbines with gasoline or diesel or something.
We do that with natural gas, right?
I don't know.
Do what?
That's how we power a lot of electricity, with natural gas and oil. And like I think like Pennsylvania even uses a lot of coal. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how those.
China's all about coal. I've seen those graphs.
I guess they're all just boiling water, though, right? It's just
as far as I know, yeah. And
so why not use the magic system that we figured out when brilliant minds were like, "Hey, look at this magic stick boils water for basically ever." What do? Yeah. You just keep water around it for it to boil.
Pretty much.
But other than that, what do you do? Well, keep people from bombing it. And
there's some other ones that I like too that aren't always dug into. I'm stuck on this tidal stuff. So I'm influenced by the fact that I grew up on an island, and when the seawater raises, the water rushes around the island through the inlets fast. I'll make it up like 12 miles an hour, something like that. And then it goes the other way. It does this all day, every day, with the predictability that the sunrise and sunset hold. You know, it's moon based. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why don't we harness this traveling water the way we do rivers and dams and stuff like that?
You need some buoys. Well, you connect a cable to the seafloor, and you got your buoy. And then as it's lifted and dropped over and over, it can just be cranking out energy for us. But yeah, just a huge field of paddles that move back and forth. You would imagine would just be making
it
so
flows
much energy.
One direction for 6 hours and then the other direction for 6 hours.
Yeah, they just turn it. Yeah, I don't know why there isn't.
I feel like that would take a lot of space in the water, and someone could probably be like, "Oh yeah, that fucks with all the dolphins." Or fucks with all the crabs or something like that. I don't know.
It's like there's somewhere though that we could, like make it like cut an inlet into the land and keep the fish out and still use the tidal forces.
Or build a nuclear power plant.
The inlet's 16 miles wide. We can't and not all of it's navigable. Some of it's kind of shallow. Yeah, like you can't devote one of these miles to.
Let's just put like 10 nuclear power plants in North Dakota, like right next to Canada. And pipe it all right back. Hot piping nuclear power. They're going to be handing it out on street corners. Get your nuclear power here.
The transmission distances is the problem with that. Yeah. That's why you can't build them all out in Wyoming or something where you wouldn't mind so much if they melted down a little bit.
Maybe one in the middle of New York. Just one.
The bad one.
No, a really good one. It's the safest. Everyone's talking about it.
The Trump brand one. The Trump brand one.
Yeah, the Trump brand nuclear power plant. I would like that.
It's the hottest reactor in the world.
Hottest reactor. I mean, nuclear power is just so much cooler than all the other powers that like the kid in me is like, do that one. Like do the one that's borderline like magic.
It seems like it's the one. It's the one where and they talk about nuclear waste. It's so little. It's so little that it creates.
Yeah, but you haven't considered how much less physical space it takes up than a giant field in the water or land.
I think the
nuclear power plant.
Yeah. They don't take up nearly as much space as like a wind farm or a solar field.
The capacity wind farm you would need. I think the wind farms are ugly. I really do.
They are.
And they put those in like populated areas. So I've driven through them before, and it's like
wind farms.
Yeah, Kansas has a bunch of them, and they are an eyesore.
I drove past them coming back from Chicago. There's some in maybe Southern Illinois or somewhere on the way back from Chicago. We drove through a wind farm.
I've driven through a bunch of wind farms, and I usually think of them as in very unpopulated areas. You know, farms. Well, it depends what populated is, right? If you got one farmer on 1,000 acres, is that populated? Like to me, it's not.
No.
And every time I drive past those, like, like half of them are like, all right, so there's enough wind to move that one, but not you or you or you or you. Like what the?
Yeah, I don't know why that happens. But I agree, it happens. It seems like always half are spinning.
Have you seen the video where there's two people on top of one of those, and it's spinning completely out of control and on fire? and they're hugging because they're about to die.
I saw a tornado hit one
Oh.
recently.
No, I did not see what the one you're talking about. That sounds awful.
Yeah, it is awful. They're
Were they
they're either
okay?
No, they died.
They were every bit as good as those Israel refugees or Palestinian refugees.
There was a Hamas
Yeah, but these
soldier
guys
in
didn't deserve it.
that.
Yes, there was one of them was a Hamas soldier.
Well, we can't confirm he's not.
True.
Yeah.